Hello, dear souls. Welcome back to my little podcast. Today, I want to talk about fear. Not the kind of fear that protects us from danger, but the quiet kind that appears when we want to do something new. It sits in our mind and softly says, "Maybe not today." For a long time, I listened to that voice. I was afraid of making mistakes, saying the wrong thing, looking foolish, disappointing people, or choosing the wrong path. Sometimes nothing bad had even happened yet, but my mind had already created 10 different ways everything could go wrong. Because of that, I often waited. When a new chance appeared, I told myself, maybe I am not ready yet. When I wanted to speak, I thought, maybe my idea is not good enough. When I wanted to start something, I worried that I might fail and feel embarrassed, so I stayed where I felt safe. At first, this seemed like a good choice. If I did not try, I could not fail. If I stayed quiet, nobody could laugh at what I said. If I did not begin, nobody could see that I was not perfect. But after some time, I noticed something. Nothing bad happened, but nothing new happened either. Nobody rejected my ideas, but nobody heard them. Nobody laughed at me, but nobody had the chance to know me better. I protected myself from failure, but I also protected myself from opportunity. Sometimes I wanted to say something during a conversation, but I stayed quiet. Then everyone went home, and 3 hours later, the perfect sentence suddenly appeared in my mind. Thank you, brain, a little late, but still very helpful. The more I thought about it, the more I understood that fear does not always stop us loudly. It does not always say, give up. Sometimes it sounds very calm and reasonable. It says, wait until you are better. Wait until you are more confident. Wait until the perfect time. And because those words sound careful and intelligent, we believe them. But the perfect time is a strange thing. Sometimes it never comes. A good chance may disappear. A person may leave. An idea may stay inside our mind for years. Then later we ask ourselves, what would have happened if I had tried? For me, that question often hurt more than failure. One day, I became tired of waiting for a better version of myself. I asked a strange question. What would I do if today were my last day? It sounds dramatic, I know. Do not worry. I did not suddenly sell everything, leave my home, and run toward the sunset. I still had work to do. I still had responsibilities. Sadly, one deep thought did not make my homework disappear, but the question changed the size of my fears. If today were my last day, would I still spend hours worrying about one small mistake? Would I still be afraid that someone might think I was strange? Would I still wait for the perfect moment to say something important? Would I keep hiding the things I wanted to do because I was afraid of looking foolish? Probably not. I think I would speak more honestly. I would tell people what they mean to me. I would try things before I felt completely ready. I would stop treating every small mistake like it would follow me forever. And maybe I would eat dessert before dinner, just in case. At first, I thought this idea would make my fear disappear. It did not. I was still nervous. Before sending an important message, I still read it many times. I changed one word, then changed it back, then stared at the send button as if it were a dangerous animal. Before trying something new, my heart still beat faster. My mind still created bad possibilities, but something had changed. I began to see fear as a feeling, not an order. Before, when fear said, "Do not do it," I listened immediately. Now I try to ask, Is this really dangerous, or is it only uncomfortable? Those are not the same thing. Speaking in front of people may feel uncomfortable. Asking for a chance may feel uncomfortable. Sharing an idea may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort does not always mean we should stop. Sometimes it simply means we are doing something unfamiliar, so I started with small steps. I did not suddenly become a brave and confident person. I only tried to say yes a little more often. I asked questions even when I worried they were too simple. I shared ideas before they felt perfect. I started conversations without planning every sentence. Sometimes things went badly. Sometimes I said something awkward. Sometimes people did not agree with me. Sometimes I went home and thought, why did I say that? But then something surprising happened. The world continued. Most people forgot my mistakes very quickly. The embarrassing moment that stayed in my mind for 3 days was probably only 3 seconds in someone else's life. That became important evidence for me. For a long time, I imagined that everyone was watching me. I thought people would remember every mistake, every strange sentence, and every awkward moment, but most people were busy thinking about their own lives. They had their own problems, their own fears, and probably their own memories of saying something strange. Slowly, I learned that I did not need to trust myself to be perfect. I only needed to trust that I could survive being imperfect. That made trying easier. One very real example is this podcast. For a long time, I thought YouTube was too difficult. I thought it would be very hard to get views, very hard to find people who wanted to listen, and even harder to become a YouTuber. I was afraid that nobody would care about what I had to say. I worried that I would spend many hours writing, creating audio, making a video, and then almost nobody would watch it. Honestly, that fear was still there when I made this channel. I felt shy. I felt unsure. I wondered whether my ideas were interesting enough. I wondered whether my English was good enough. I wondered whether a small podcast from someone like me could ever reach another person. But then I realized something. If I never started, the result was already decided. There would be no channel, there would be no video, there would be no chance for anyone to hear me, so I made this little podcast channel anyway. Maybe it will grow. Maybe it will stay small. Maybe one episode will reach many people, or maybe only a few souls will ever find it. I honestly do not know. But this time, success is not the only thing that matters. I was afraid, and I still started. I had an idea, and I turned it into something real. Even if this channel fails, I will not have to spend years asking, what would have happened if I had tried? Because now I have tried. And maybe, in a strange way, you are also part of the proof. If you are listening to this right now, then the fear that said, nobody will ever hear you, was not completely right. Maybe only one person is listening. Maybe 10 people are listening. Maybe more. But one real person is already more than 0. That matters to me. It does not mean every brave action will become successful. Life is not a movie. We do not take one risk and suddenly receive perfect rewards. Sometimes we try and still fail. Sometimes people say no. Sometimes our ideas are not as good as we hoped. But failure gives us information. If I try something and it does not work, I can ask why. I can learn. I can improve. I can try again. But when I do nothing, I learn nothing. I only keep imagining. What if I had tried? What if I had spoken? What if I had said yes? For me, those questions were heavier than most failures. Failure shows us reality. Regret creates an imaginary life where everything could have been perfect. And imagination can be cruel because it never has to face real problems. When I tried and failed, at least I knew what happened. When I did nothing, I stayed inside the same question. Over time, I also noticed that people responded differently when I became more open. Maybe I smiled more. Maybe I stopped trying so hard to say the perfect thing. Maybe people could finally see more of the real me. New conversations started. New chances appeared. Some things that once felt impossible became a little less frightening. It was not magic. The world did not suddenly change because I thought positively. My actions changed because my way of thinking changed. When I shared an idea, someone could support it. When I asked a question, someone could answer. When I said yes, I entered places that fear had kept closed. Maybe the opportunities were not new. Maybe I was finally willing to see them. That is why I no longer think courage means having no fear. Most brave people are probably still afraid. They still doubt themselves. They still need time. The difference is that fear is not the only voice they listen to. Sometimes, courage is very quiet. It is pressing send while your hand is shaking. It is asking a question while your voice is unsure. It is starting a small YouTube channel even when you think nobody will watch. It is saying, I am scared, but I do not want fear to make this decision for me. However, I also want to be careful with the idea of living like today is your last day. It does not mean ignoring tomorrow. It does not mean spending all your money, leaving your job, or making every decision without thinking. Tomorrow still matters. Our responsibilities still matter. Other people still matter. For me, this idea means remembering that today is not only a waiting room for the future. Sometimes we spend so much time preparing to live that we forget to live. We wait to feel confident. We wait to have more money. We wait to become better. We wait for life to become easier. But life may always be complicated. Maybe the perfect moment is not coming. Maybe we only need a real moment. This one. So now, when fear tells me to wait, I try to listen carefully. Sometimes fear is protecting me, and sometimes fear is only protecting what feels familiar. I do not always know the difference. I am still learning. I still overthink. I still delay things. I still worry too much sometimes. But now I know that fear is a feeling. It is not always a fact, and it is not always an instruction. So, dear souls, is there something you want to do but keep delaying? Maybe there is someone you want to talk to. Maybe there is a project you want to begin. Maybe there is an idea you are afraid to share. Maybe you are waiting to become a better version of yourself first. You do not need to change your whole life today. You do not need to become fearless. Maybe you only need one small action, one message, one question, one honest sentence. Then ask yourself, if today were my last day, would I still let this fear stop me? Maybe the answer will be yes, and that is okay. Some fears need time, but maybe the answer will be no. And maybe that answer is the small door you have been waiting for. Thank you for spending this time with me, dear souls. I am not sharing this because I have become fearless. I am sharing it because I am still learning how to move while fear walks beside me. Maybe we do not need to destroy every fear. Maybe we only need to stop giving fear the final word. Take care of yourself. Be patient with your fears, but do not let them quietly take your whole life. I will see you in the next episode.